ಆರನೆಯ ತರಗತಿಯ ಪ್ರೀತಿಯ ವಿದ್ಯಾರ್ಥಿಗಳಿಗೆ ನಿಮ್ಮ ನೆಚ್ಚಿನ ಚಾನಲ್ಗೆ ಸ್ವಾಗತ ಸುಸ್ವಾಗತ. ಪ್ರೀತಿಯ ವಿದ್ಯಾರ್ಥಿಗಳೇ, ಆರನೆಯ ತರಗತಿಯ ಎಲ್ಲ ಪಾಠದ ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆ ಉತ್ತರಗಳ ಲಿಂಕನ್ನು ನಾನು ಈ ವಿಡಿಯೋದ ಡಿಸ್ಕ್ರಿಪ್ಷನ್ ಬಾಕ್ಸಲ್ಲಿ ಹಾಕಿದ್ದೇನೆ, ಅದನ್ನು ನೋಡಿಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಪ್ರೀತಿಯ ವಿದ್ಯಾರ್ಥಿಗಳೇ, ಇವತ್ತು ನಾವು ಆರನೆಯ ತರಗತಿಯ ಚಾಪ್ಟರ್ 10 ದ ಟಚ್ ಈ ಒಂದು ಪಾಠದ ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆ ಉತ್ತರಗಳನ್ನು ಮತ್ತು ವೊಕ್ಯಾಬ್ಯುಲರಿ ಅಂಶಗಳನ್ನು ಈ ಪಾಠದಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಸಾಗೋಣ ಬನ್ನಿ. ಮೊದಲ ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆ ಈ ರೀತಿಯಾಗಿದೆ. A good way for parents to receive their children returning from school is to ask about their score in maths, to ignore them simply, to embrace them lovingly and speak to them lovingly, to ask about their report card. To embrace them lovingly and speak to them lovingly. What had happened when the narrator visited her father on an earlier occasion? She had seen him quarreling with people. He had been sleeping. He had been too weak to talk. She had noticed the bugs on his cot. She had noticed the bugs on his cot. The narrator hesitated even to touch her father because that's how she had been raised. He was suffering from illness. She hated her father. Her husband had told her to keep distance. That's how she had been raised. Read in the extract and answer the following questions. Who is it? He asked as he turned on his side. Who asked this question? The narrator's father asked this question. When did this person ask this? When the narrators inquired him, "Are you asleep?" that person asked that. What was the reply? It is I was the reply. It is I was the reply. Sit properly, Amma. You will fall off. Who is Amma here? The narrator is the Amma here. Who said this? The narrator's father said this. Where were they at that time? At that time they were in rickshaw to go somewhere. It could be so pious if you moved into this town. Why did father say this? The father was alone and the narrator was living in a faraway town. The narrators were also living in the some town in which the in-laws were living. How did the narrator react to this? The narrator looked at him helplessly. What did father do then? Father did not speak again and was silent as he stroked the narrator's hand. So, ಮುಂದಿನ ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆ ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇವೆ. Say whether the following statements are true or false. Rewrite the false statements correctly. The young woman in the story is main character. False. The old narrator's father in the story is the main character. This time the father show his affection for his daughter. True. The daughter thinks it would be a good idea to ask her mother to clip father's nail. False. Asking mother to do it would be as useless as the motor weeping on the shoulder of the drum. The young woman becomes emotional thinking of her widowed sister-in-law. False. Not that he could not ask my sister-in-law, but perhaps he wanted me to do something for him. The narrator felt elated and did the job carefully. The author decides to take her father to her house. False. The author looked at him helplessly, a look he could not see. She could not reassure him with the words either. Answer in one word or a sentence each. Why had the narrator come to the town? The narrator had come to the town on hearing that her mother in law was not well and to spend some time with her. What was the caution she had received from her husband before going to visit her father? Not to sit on her father's bed but to pull up a chair and sit because she would carry bugs back home. Was the narrator's mother alive? The narrator's mother was alive. What did the father say to her finally? It would be so nice if you moved into this town. I could stay with you. The father said this finally. Why had the narrator hesitated to pace his father? The narrator hesitated to pace her father because she could not reassure him that she could move into the town. Answer the following question in 2 or 3 sentences each. What was the narrator's childhood like? From the time the narrator was kept at distance in the name of discipline and because of muddy, her father's orthodox way of life, she never had the courage to touch him. She had always felt that she was in a state of ritual purity. She was used to slipping into her cocoon. Why did the narrator feel in her childhood that their father Why did the narrator feel in her childhood that her father kept her at a distance? So next answer is her father kept her a distance in the name of discipline and because of muddy, his orthodox way of life. The mortar and the drum in the proverb refers to two people. Who are they? The narrator's father and mother. Why did her father ask her to clip his nails? Asking her mother to do it would be useless, so he asked the narrator to do it. How did the narrator feel while returning from her father's house? As she turned in the rickshaw, her father's tender touch haunted her. Tears welled in her eyes and blurred her view of the road. Words in use. Fill in the blanks with the suitable words given in the brackets. The soldier at the border longed to meet his family. The old woman groped in the air to find the door. The climax of the play moved our heart. A watchman noticed the thieves that blew his whistle. Venkataraman hesitated to ask my permission to go home. Make the opposite for the following by adding suitable prefixes given in the brackets. Known, unknown, discipline, indiscipline, responsible, irresponsible, continue, discontinue, proper, improper, understand, misunderstand. Complete the following sentence on your own using the words given in the brackets. My grandmother was an Orthodox person. The firefighters extinguished the fire. A bulldozer crushed the building. A doctor was helpless without a nurse. Suguna, stop chatting and come soon. Grammar, activize and passivize. Change the voice in the following sentences. People do not respect corrupt politicians. Corrupt politicians are not respected by the people. The students are planting the trees. The trees are being planted by the students. They help the orphans. The orphans are helped by them. Anita presented a golden watch to me. A golden watch was presented to me by Anita. He had broken the chair. The chair had been broken by him. A man called Lapsary had invented the telescope in 1608. In 1608, the telescope had been invented by a man called Lefarge. Telescope makes distant objects appear to be near. Distant objects are made to appear near to nearby a telescope. Writing. Answer the following 5 to 6 sentences each. Do you sympathize with the father in his story? Father had longed for sons all his life but was left with only his daughters. So I sympathize with him for his unfortunate situation. Do you sympathize with the daughter in this story? The daughter spent her teenage life in a cocoon. Every day she died out of fear. Still, she was not able to come out of that shyness. Then, under her husband's care, she was not able to reason her father that she would move to the same town, sympathize for her sorry state of affairs. Supply the missing words in the story. The given story is given here. Read yourself and find out the words which were missing. Next, work with your partner and insert suitable words in the blanks and passage below. Here is a given below passage. Find the words and write it in your notebook. So thank you. Thanks a lot, dear students.